So you're moving to Luxembourg. Get ready for a school system that is, well, it's really something else. We're talking 3 languages taught right from the get-go. A public system that's totally free, but also totally unique in Europe. And then you have private schools that can cost a small fortune. Let's get into it. For any expat family, this is the big question, right? Is this whole system an amazing opportunity or just a giant headache? It can feel pretty overwhelming, honestly, but that's exactly why we're doing this explainer. We're going to break it all down so you can feel confident you're making the best choice for your kids. And really, the decision starts with a very clear, very practical choice about money. On one side, you have this fantastic public system that costs you absolutely nothing. And on the other, a private system where the fees can be, well, they can be a pretty significant part of your annual budget. All right, so to make sense of all this, we've got to start with the fundamentals of the local Luxembourgish system. It's built on a few core ideas that, honestly, every parent needs to know from day one. First off, the system is incredibly generous. I mean, school is mandatory from age 4 to 16, and it's not just tuition-free. We're talking free textbooks, free school buses, the whole shebang. It's a level of support you just don't see in many places. The structure is pretty simple. You've got the fundamental stage for the younger kids and then the secondary stage for the teenage years. But here's where things get really uniquely Luxembourgish. The public system is built around this trilingual model. And this isn't just about learning a couple of languages in class. Oh no. This is about being taught in different languages at different ages. It's a true linguistic marathon for these kids. And that journey starts at age 4 in something called Switchr. Now, you can think of it as a mandatory preschool, but its main job is language immersion. The goal is to plunge every single child, no matter where they're from, into Luxembourgish. It creates this common ground for everyone to start from. Okay, so after 2 years of Luxembourgish, at age 6, everything switches. The kids start learning to read and write, but they do it all in German. A couple of years later, at age 8, French gets added into the mix. And then, by the time they hit secondary school, boom, French becomes the main language for most of their classes. It's a pretty intense sequence, but timing is everything. And this right here is the big catch for expat families. If your child shows up at age 8 and doesn't speak German, they're facing a huge hurdle. Think about it. The entire system for learning to read and write is built on that German foundation. Without it, your kid isn't just trying to catch up on a language, they're trying to learn to read in a language they don't even understand. It's a massive challenge. All right, let's fast forward a bit to the next massive milestone. At the end of primary school, around age 12, a decision gets made that basically sets the course for your child's entire academic future. And, this is a moment that causes a lot of anxiety for parents. So the path splits in 2. You have the classical stream, which is the straight shot to university. Then there's the general stream, which is more diverse, with technical and vocational options. But here's the kicker. This isn't really a choice you, as a parent, get to make. It's an orientation, and it's based almost entirely on your child's grades in languages and math. And that lack of parental input, well, it's a major reason why a lot of expats start looking for other options. Which, of course, brings us to the other side of the coin, the whole world of international schools. For a lot of families, this path just feels more familiar, more predictable, and frankly, a bit more controllable. And you can see the appeal, right? First, language. Your child can learn in English or French, which avoids that massive learning curve of the public system. Second, you get continuity. Programs like the IB or A-levels are understood all over the world. And, crucially, you get more of a say in your child's education. All of that in a multicultural environment that might feel more familiar. Now, if you're thinking this path is only for those with really deep pockets, I want you to hold that thought. Because in the last few years, something pretty revolutionary has happened here. The government has opened 6, that's right, 6, completely free public international schools. And this chart really lays out the new landscape for you. You've now got these public international schools, they're free, and they offer European or UK diplomas. Then you've got the traditional private schools, like ISL or St. George's. They're amazing, but they come with that hefty price tag. And for French-speaking families, there's the Lycée Vauban. Honestly, the addition of the free public option has been a complete game changer for so many families. Okay, so with all of these choices now on the table, how on earth do you decide what to do? Let's try to build a simple, practical framework to help you figure it out. This is the question, isn't it? The one that can keep you up at night. But look, There's no single best school out there. There's only the best fit for your family and your child. So let's get practical and figure out how you find that fit.
I think you can boil it down to these 4 key questions. First, how long are you really planning to stay? If it's a short-term thing, an international school probably makes more sense for continuity. If you're here for the long haul, the integration from the public system is really appealing. Then, what languages does your kid already speak? What's your budget? And finally, what's the long-term plan? Answering these honestly will really help you narrow things down.
And here's a huge pro tip. Before you completely rule out private school because of the cost, check your employment contract. A lot of companies in Luxembourg offer pretty substantial education benefits in their relocation packages. It's often negotiable, and it can suddenly make a €20,000 a year school seem very doable. Finally, let's talk about a few common mistakes to avoid. Number 1, don't underestimate that language barrier. It's real. Number 2, don't wait until the last minute to apply. Seriously, those wait lists are long. Also, remember that tuition is just the start. There are always hidden costs. And really, truly understand how final that age 12 decision is. And maybe most important, go visit the schools. You can't get a feel for a place from a website. So in the end, it all comes down to this one question. Are you looking for a deep, local integration that gives your child the incredible gift of being trilingual? Or is your priority a smooth, global continuation of the education they've already started? There's no right or wrong answer here, only the one that's right for your family.